let's get this started and get this crack-a-lacking. I'm just waiting for this to actually start populating in YouTube, and then I'm going to get it going. Cool. All right, so this is my first ever live stream, and I am just pumping this out. So the whole point of this video is I'm going to build a real business in 1 hour. So by 3:20, I should have a live business. And the difference with this versus other videos that I've seen is that I'm not a developer. I might look like one, but my background is not in coding at all. The furthest I've ever been with coding has been probably like HTML and CSS, and then I just got distracted because I wanted to change the logos or whatever. So yeah, this video is just going to be me and how I've been building a couple of different businesses. They're not like really successful businesses, but they have bookings, they have leads coming in, and they're working. And every Friday, I do this by myself, so this is different and way more work to actually have to stream it. But I'm gonna do this and show you what my process is, and you can see how my brain works, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, I thought Tim was way smarter than that." But you'll just see how I kind of do some errors and try and work it out. So I'm going to try and actually share this stream as well. I'm not sure how to do that. I'll show you my screen so you can see. I'm just in YouTube here. I'm just going to put it on LinkedIn because that's where I said I was going to post about it. Sorry, David Parkin. For some reason, every time I type in LinkedIn, you're the one that's there. Where did I put it? I'm just going to do a new post. There is the live stream. Okay, so I don't know if people are actually going to join, but let's start this off. So, all right, so yeah, the way this begins is last week I was talking to Jason and Jay Claire about vibe coding and like how people can jump on there and they put a prompt in. They jump into like Bolt like this and they write an idea and they build something and it kind of like looks nice. Like you can see all the different ideas I've had over the year, over the months, like personal dashboards, all that kind of stuff. I'll load it. But what happens is you build it out, and when I say build it, I mean you just type it out, and then it builds something for you, and then you've got that, and it's like, what do you do next? It's like if you're using it as an internal tool, that's fine. But if you're trying to build a business, like how do you actually like connect everything up and actually have all the dots like working? This one is taking a bit of time, but I'm just trying to think what this was. Oh, this was me. Like, I had an idea to have like a personal dashboard and like connect all my Stripe and ClickUp and Product Hunt and all that kind of stuff. And when you build these kind of things, you see them and you're like, oh wow, they're really nice. But the problem is, like they work kind of, but they're not working at all. So they're not built on actual like proper databases or anything like that. But forget about all that kind of stuff. You don't really need to know about all that. I'll just show you like how I've like worked my way through it, and I use a couple of different tools for it. Usually, I do start with Bolt to like get the bolts, like the nut and bolts, going. But I'm going to jump across to one called Cursor, which might seem a little bit scary to some people, but it's something that you can build on and actually not have to keep paying. Because the problem with all these systems is you're like paying for like if you want to ask like 30 things or a million things, you're going to have to keep paying, and then you're relying on that. Where if you use something like Cursor, it's a bit more freeing. So anyway, I haven't got much time, so let's get into it. So Jason, I said send me a brief. So he sent me this brief here. So it's called Pitsy, the overnight network for self-contained travelers. So I'm just seeing if anyone's actually looking, and no one's looking, which is fantastic, which means no one can judge me on this. So Pitsy, the overnight network for self-contained travelers. So Jason's idea is building Airbnb essentially, from what he's told me, Airbnb, but just for car parks at the front of the house. And he's got this whole brief here, which we'll look at, and then we'll put that into Cursor, get it to build something, see if it looks okay, and then we'll actually do all the stuff that you need to do to make it like an actual proper business. Let's just read through some of this. So network of overnight stops for self-contained RV travelers in Australia. The model's simple. Private landowners, they rent safe overnight spaces with power, water, and Wi-Fi. Travelers get affordable, frictionless alternatives to caravan parks, even earning income from underutilized spaces. So essentially, you're just hiring a car park at the front of your house. And I know about this because I actually borrowed an RV earlier in the year, and it was amazing. But we don't have to go stay at caravan parks just because we wanted to use their power and their water. And it was like $100, $200, whatever. And it was a bit safer than, I guess, staying like free parking. But if someone had something like this and it was like $20 and I could just plug in my power, we would have done that for sure. And especially if there was like really nice location. So I like the idea of this. It makes sense. There's nothing really else much like it out there. And also, this is like a perfect thing to build with something like Cursor, because or any AI prompting tool, because similar to like a Airbnb, the system itself is like it's a brand. They're looking for something where they want to stay. Their check-in dates, and then you just have listings. And then obviously in this brief, it's going to talk about. I'm not going to go through every single part of the business, but I'm just going to go to the actual functionality we need to work on. So, all right. So build a mobile web app, so a website that allows travelers to book safe, affordable overnight stays, and hosts can earn money for unused space. This is where it gets a bit tricky, right? Because like, how does the money go in and where does it go and all that kind of stuff. So we'll go through that as well. Travelers get low friction. So it's Airbnb model, and it provides three essential things. So use a story. I want to be able to search and book overnight stops quickly along my route. So that one, I want to be able to search and book. That might also need the functionality of being able to add their routes in and then calculate that. So we might have to scale that back a little bit. As a traveler, I want to see available stops on a map and plan multi-stop trips. Extra functionality, that's okay. I want to book and pay securely with confirmation details on my phone. Yep, that's all fine. I want to see reviews from other travelers. That's fine. Cool. As a host, listing with photos, locations. So I'm not going to go through all this because I haven't got enough time, but I know what he's looking for. And if I am being super lazy, I can just put this into Cursor and it's going to build it out. And then we can go through them and fix them as we go up. But the core features, map with along the route, list views, all that kind of stuff. Bookings. Yep. I assume that Jason has put this into his ChatGPT, but I just want to go through it. So here's my little ChatGPT for finding this. So book, hook, show you what you're aiming for. Start, break down the problem and plan. So the problem is, this is the problem. Vibe coding is really fun, but it's not. No one's really shown people how to actually do all of it. So I think I'm trying to do that now. I don't know. But the problem I'm going to show you is like it can be done with all the different things with domains, emails, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm building it right now and the polish, and then we're going to test it. So I feel like I'm running out of time, so we're just going to get into it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just opening Cursor. So it's an app I've got on I'm using a PC, but you can use it on Mac as well. So Cursor is just opening up here. So yeah, it's just like an application. And the first thing you want to do, I'm just going to try and keep this as simple as possible. So you open a project, and all you need to do is I just create a folder. So this is where like some people are like, oh, what am I doing? Why is it on my computer? Blah blah blah. But you just create a folder for it to have it locally. And locally sounds scary as well, but it's not scary. Relax. Just a folder, and then Cursor will build everything inside of it. So I'm going to choose that folder there. It opens up this black screen. So for those of you who like different colors, you can change the color if you want. If you want to go like a white color, they've got heaps of different colors. A green, green. I'm just going one more color just because I just want to see, just to show the people in there who like having a bit of a difference. So this one here's pink. What I'm going to do just to save some time is I'm just going to grab his brief. And I'm going to put all of it into Cursor. And that might be a bit too much, but I'm just going to do that. So Yeah, it's like anything. Like sometimes it'll break, sometimes it works perfectly. But we're gonna just start with this and see what happens. So you can see it's writing all this stuff, and if you don't know anything about like coding or developing, this could be quite overwhelming. Um, Usually it doesn't ask you many questions, but you can see here it is asking me one question, so it's installing stuff. But let's have a look at the top of what it said. So Pitsy is a web application. You can see that it's read a lot of the features. It might miss some things, but it's given us a to-do list. So it's setting up the project, essentially building out the code. And then the next step is we're going to be designing and implementing a database. So it's going to be doing all this stuff, but it's kind of plain English. And if you don't understand it, you can just ask it. Um, so what you'll see is it's like building all this stuff out here. So you see up here is a folder. You can see it's starting to build all this code out. So it's like doing all this stuff that I have, if I'm being honest, no idea what any of it does. Like I kind of understand it, but not really. Um, and that means I don't understand it at all. So I'm just trying to read what it's actually doing. It's trying a different approach to install dependencies. So what that's essentially saying is it's trying to like set up all the different things we're asking for. So you can see in that code, it's asking for like Stripe and Google Maps and all that kind of stuff. And for those who are following along and they're like, no, that's too hard for me, um, just stay with me. Stick with me. It's doing some stuff. You kind of almost have that like blind trust that everything's going to be okay. Yep, just checking in on all my followers, and there's no one there. I'm not sure why my live stream is so delayed, but it is, and that's okay. All right. So you got to be patient while it does this. You can see it's added 21 packages, and in my head, as like a designer, like PM kind of thing, I'm just like, show me the website. Like, what the hell's taking so long? I just want to see what the website looks like. Where the hell is it? And we'll get there. We'll get there soon. And what it's going to do is it's going to build me something that I can see. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to like just tweak it. We're just going to keep tweaking it until we get it right. And then by the end of it, um, security alert here, asking for Node.js. Don't get scared. Just say yes to everything. What's it going to do? Give you a virus? It's not. Say yes to everything. Let it do its thing. It's installing everything it needs. And if this is scary, if you're like, oh my god, this is way too hard, just start with something a bit more simpler. Like I'm trying to like build a business that I asked a friend of mine to give me an idea for, and he's given me like a pretty big business. So it is a bit interesting, and it's going to take a bit longer to build out. And I'm hoping I can get it done in this hour. Otherwise, I'm going to look a bit silly. But yeah, we'll give it a second. This is my one like thing that I have um, with cursor is it does this sometimes where it like is loading, but it doesn't tell you what it's doing, and I'm just like, what do I do going on? Because it's not showing me, you can be like, I'm wasting time. It's okay. I feel a bit unorganized though, whilst it's doing this. Um, so what I'll do in this point, I'll be like, what is actually happening? So I'll just ask about what's going on. What is going on? Are you broken? So I'm frustrated. I'm like, you know what? Show me what you're doing. I want to see what you're doing. Oh, it's doing something. I'm just going to push that up and ask what it's going on because it's broken. No, I'm not broken. I'm working perfectly. I'm building your Pitsy application step by step. Let me explain what's happening. Um, So I've kind of prompted it to say, well, what the hell are you doing? And now it's telling me it's doing something. So we'll see. Let's see if these buttons are working. If I do that. Right, pretty hard. You got no feedback from people. You don't know what's going on. Looking at my live stream, why is that little logo guy there? That's Montgomery. He's my business logo, but I've updated him recently. Anyway, getting distracted. Back to cursor. So they're creating the main landing pages, which is good. We're going to have something to show soon. And hopefully people have just skipped the last 20 minutes of this video and gone straight to this bit. So what I've done so far, created the project, excuse me, databases, dependencies. So that's all the stuff we need to actually hook up so that it all works, which we'll go through. What's happening now is designing all the pages. So the main landing page. So I was building stuff, guys. It's happening. You can do these things, but it's happening. And I guess you just sit back and relax whilst it does that. So if we had started with a smaller project, this would have been done already. And a lot of the projects I did work on were a lot smaller than this. So whilst we're waiting for that, this one I built, Cut and Party Hire. I built this one. This one I think was in Bolt or Lovable, and then I exported it and put it into Cursor. And this is just like a real niche thing. It's speaker hire in a small regional town. And it's funny because I actually get bookings for this. So I think it's probably because I'm too cheap. But it's a full-on website and it's on a domain. If you go to book now, it's got pricing. This is hooked up to Stripe. Um, it actually has full booking systems in place. Like if I'm logged in, so yeah, I've got an admin dashboard and I can see bookings inside here. I can see bookings that are blocked out, and it's like actually hooked up to a proper database. So this is like a proper business. But if I go back to the bookings, like from an end user's point of view, they choose the date, they choose the time, they put their details in. When they click continue payment, it takes them to Stripe. They pay for it, and I get $150 in my bank account. I then take my speaker that this is what they get in the package. They get the speaker, microphone, everything they need, picked up and delivered for $150. And it's crazy. And like, it's already ranking for this in the area because it's built like based. Like I've got pages for every single like kids parties with images, frequently asked questions. I've got like service areas, so each like town in the area where I live has their own videos as well. I mean, not videos, pages like Lansfield that talks about things that are relevant to them. I think it's illegal having fake testimonials, so I probably need to get that fixed. But there's like dedicated pricing pages. There's FAQs overall. It's just like a full-on website, and it was only an hour, and I just kept asking it to do stuff, and it did it. And like the end result is that it gets sales. Like it actually makes money. That's what we're here for. Back to Cursor. Let's see if it's done anything. It's not a good sign. Okay, let's do Cursors open. That scared me for a second. So, all right. So it's saying it's created a host registration page. Let me build a simple listing details page, basic authentication setup, and a simple login page. So Jason, next time, mate, give me something a bit simpler than a full-on Airbnb website. I think I should do like a video next Friday as well, and see if we actually have any bookings. But it's like anything with technology. Probably should have scaled this back to like people just listing their car parks, or maybe even doing some research and seeing if it's illegal. Because I feel like it could be quite illegal just to make money off people parking in your street. But I don't know. Maybe it could be the street. Maybe I didn't read the brief properly. Maybe it's maybe they can actually book in your driveway. I feel it'd be so much easier to streaming gaming. Like gaming would be way easier. Where are we? All right, 20 minutes. I didn't really take into account. Okay, I think we're actually running now. Okay, so what we've built for you. Good lordy. I've created a complete web application. So it's saying it's got all this kind of stuff. So what it does for those nerds out there who don't actually like coding like myself, it creates like a little website just on your private server, or sorry, on your computer. So only you can view it, but no one else can view it. So you can see here it's running at localhost. So let's open it up and see. It doesn't look like there's anything running there. So what I'm going to do instead, and this is what I mean by you have to be a little bit gritty around if it's not working, you have another crack at it. I would say it's not working. So you could actually say that there. It's not working. Can you make it have a preview? And just talk to it. Just talk to it like a friend. I can't even spell, man. Usually there's a thing I can do where there's like a I can just go right click and I can save preview, but let me do that today. What's going on here? Let me check if the server's running properly. This is the only thing with cursor, like when it does this and you're like, I give up, fuck this is too hard. But you just gotta stick with it. So I do have this plugin called Live Server. I have Live Server and I just run that on something. All I'm trying to do is just see what it's built me. Feel I'm impatient. Since you have Live Server, let me create a simple HTML version. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. It's not too crazy, right? I haven't done any developing or coding or anything. It looks like I have because it's this cool, crazy pink theme. But cyberpunk. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so it's building index. That's the one I'm looking for. Index, and then I can right click it, and then it's going to go live. Meantime, whilst we're waiting, this live stream is sponsored by Carmen's dark chocolate, cherry and coconut. And when I say sponsored, I mean it was in my cupboard. And I took it from the cupboard. Now it's like AMSR. I'm going to make this video. I'm not actually going to watch it. Doesn't show on my screen. So it's building out like a web page for me. And then when I have that web page, I can look at it and see if I like it. And if I like it, then I can go, great. Let's actually make this all work somehow. Point of this video. If one person watches this video, if it's you, Jason, I'll be very happy. If someone else watches it, even better. In the meantime, though, whilst it's doing that, I'll show you another website I built, which gets leads. Hinton quotes. This one's not sexy, but I just wanted something really quick. I think this was like under an hour. I wanted something really quick where you can just get an online quote for like a specific like service in the area. Because if you just typed in kite and fencing, you're going to get businesses and you're going to get like Facebook pages and this kind of stuff, or fence builder. And you got like specific people, but there's no like way to get a quote. Like I just want to find out how much it costs. I just want to get a fence in my backyard. Come on, what's going on? So I feel like there's a gap where you can have something like this. I'm gonna zoom in a bit. Where you can just get an instant quote. So I'm like, because I needed to get a fence for my backyard, and I was like, well, I needed timber. I knew I needed 1.8, and it was like, I think it was like 25 meters or something. I didn't want any gates, sun flat ground, $3,000. Great, awesome, sick. That's exactly what I need to know. Or actually, that's a bit too expensive for me. Maybe I'll go a bit shorter. Okay, cool. That's alive. And then I was like, well, I can do something like this where I just literally get their details. That quote comes to me, and then I just give it to a fencing company, and then all of a sudden they've got a $4,000 lead. And we've had some leads come in through this already, which has been great. And at the moment, I haven't like charged anyone. I've just like given the leads across. But you can see how if I was getting enough leads coming in, I could potentially sell this business or sell this website to a fence company and go, do you want to get 2 leads a week? Here you go, have this. Same with like roofing. As long as you got your pricing right, like plumbing, repair, blocked, urgent, house, $150, bang. I was like super easy. It's got some weird ass logo. Um, it's got like a footer and everything. I even have like a services page. I've got an about page. Local services matching for our community, whatever. Our story. And look, there's me and Nicole. Crazy. Our values. See, I don't like how that's not symmetrical, but all this is for is to get leads. And I think there's like I think it's even ranking. So if you go Chitin quotes, number 1, Chitin quotes. Look at that. That was a simple one. Now, are you actually finished yet or what? All right, so right click index. All right, guys, are you ready for this? The whole point of this website, the whole point of this video relies on this. Ah, it looks shit. This is the first round, so just give me a break. But this is what it looks like straight away. So let's go zoom in a bit. Pitsy overnight stops with RV travelers. Okay, we haven't given him a logo, so that's okay. Find stops, become a host, about, sign in, get started. Before we jump into it, let's see what it actually has built for us. So got search from locations, dates, and guests counts. Let's do that. So where's the search? Okay. All right. So if I type in Melbourne, so I'll tell you why this happens. It's because it's not built on a database yet. Like if I type in, so it's an immediate preview of the concept, share with others, investors, blah, 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 test the concept, blah, 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 blah. So now what I can say to it is I want you to actually build this properly. So when someone creates an account, they have a proper account, and when they pay, they actually have all that kind of stuff. That's the next step. But let's just have a look through the site. So find overnight stops. It goes down here. Great. So it's got these here. It's got a date picker. Cool. Guests, search stops, that kind of thing. It's showing the power, water, Wi-Fi. I like it. So let's click. Let's try and click into an actual property. So it hasn't done that yet. So it's kind of like showing me things. Earn as a host. Start hosting today. It hasn't built those pages out. So it's all just like smoke and mirrors. So looking at my timeline, what do I want to do? I want to do the dashboard. I want to do the database. So the database is going to be the thing that actually makes it work. So I want to actually build a database so all of this site works and it's not just a demo. See what it says. Excellent. Let's build a fully functional database driven version of Pitsy. I'll set up everything, make sure it's blah blah blah. Set up Postgres. I don't know any of this shit, but I'm just going to try and go with it anyway. Build API endpoints for listing, set up user authentication, send it management, create forms for hosts, add, build the complete booking flow with payments. So it's actually, this is like, if you didn't know that, you'd be like, why isn't it working? So I guess there's like a bit of like just general knowledge around developing stuff. But if it's not working, I guess you could always ask it, why isn't it working? Why is it not working? Why? And then it'll tell you because you haven't got your database set up properly. So I'm assuming it's doing that all now. I can see that we got duplicate files. So this is where you just got to have some like rawness about you. Like just keep smashing at it. Just be like, fix it. Why aren't you working? Fix it. And then if you can't figure it out, go on Google or watch one of my videos. If I keep doing these. Because like this has done a ton of work for us. Like you won't know any of these things here. Like none of these prisms or publics or all this kind of shit. But this is all the stuff that you need for a website to actually work properly. All right. Do this stuff here to see what it actually is. You don't, oh man, why would I eat a muesli bar during a live stream? Out of control. Seems to be blocked, maybe. Are you blocked? And you'll fix. It was blocked. So if you didn't ask for that, you wouldn't know. – 30 minutes and we've done nothing. Yet. Just because I'm being impatient, let's just try and do a bolt one, which I don't always recommend because then stuck on bolt. Let's just try and do a bolt one whilst we're waiting for that because we're going to have two working ones. So I'm just pasting that client brief that Jason sent me into bolt. The only difference with bolt versus cursor is you're restricted kind of to their like systems they want to use. So like if I look at like integrations, which it won't probably show me until that prompt's finished, they're going to choose like Superbase or they're going to choose some other kind of integration. But going by the way this cursor situation is going, it might be the only way I'm going to be able to get this done in the time frame. Because like it's building stuff out, but whilst we wait for that, go back to Bob. This is essentially doing the same thing. And we'll see what it comes up with. Now, I guess the one thing I do have set up, which some of you might not set up, is I actually have a Superbase account. So Superbase is like a dashboard system, um, which I know is getting a bit developery, but essentially it's just like CSV files or like graphs, or I can't even explain myself, but essentially it's like a table, and you can have like things that you want to save in there. So it might be like users or Klaviyo accounts or databases or authentications, or you can see I've got users in here. Um, it's just an area to keep them, and then like a website can like pull them in, and it's like safe and secure. I think that makes sense. You will have to excuse me. It is a Friday at 3 o'clock, and I could be doing so many other things, but I decided to do this on stream instead of just focusing. And usually, when I'm doing this, I've got music on and I'm not talking, so I probably get more stuff done. But we've got 36 minutes, 20 minutes to go. I might need to rely on Bolt to do this just to get something going. And the end result is going to be Jason's really happy, or we made sales, or nothing gets launched, and I'm just like every other no code vibe coding idea out there. I think next time I do this, I should probably be more planned and maybe reduce the scope a little bit. Because there was a lot of waiting that I wasn't expecting for. I'm used to this as like being really quick, like these smaller kind of ideas. Uh, we've had a lot of viewers. At least the connection's amazing. It's really excellent connection. All right, Bob, what you got for me? Jason, man, this is such a big project. I don't even think anyone watches live streams unless you actually have followers, which I do not. All right, got to be close. All right, all my followers watching. Have you had any success with building your own no-code tools? Um, if you have, I would like to see them in the comments. And actually, just put ones that make money or actually generate something, because everyone's got like an SEO checker or some kind of like weird vibe coding thing that's like a pointless thing. But like, put something in there that actually makes a difference, and it could be like something that makes a difference to you. Whilst we're doing this, I'll show another tool, Lovable, that I built. And this one has generated like you're not going to believe me, but it's actually generated like 100 grand, nearly I think it's about 100 grand worth of revenue for this company. So this is going down the same kind of path as the quotes one, but this one's just for window quotes. So this company does windows they do aluminium windows in the Macedon Ranges, and they just wanted a simple tool um, for their customers to be able to like put their measurements in and get a quote for themselves for the windows. So we had a couple of goes at this, and I did this like probably 6 months ago. Where are we? But then all of a sudden, the builder told me that he had like this lead that came in for 50 grand, and I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "This lady's done a quote for her house, and it's about a $50,000 job." After she uploaded photos from her phone, took photos of everything. She added all of her windows for her house, and he went out and quoted it all. Yeah, it was like 50 grand. And the only reason she went with him is because he had this online quoting tool that was super easy. And it gave her a quote straight away, and she was able to like download it, get a PDF. It's hooked up to databases, and it was amazing. Where traditionally, you would have to get some tradie when he's available. Yeah, I can come out next Wednesday. He comes out Thursday. He's late. Blah blah blah. Windows. like this just removes that. And this is all done. This was done on Lovable, as you can see here, and that was just chatting back and forth with it, and then it was hooked up to um, Superbase. Yeah, cool story, Tim. All right, so let's go back to this. So let's see what Bolt's created for us, and let's see if we can actually make this into something because I've only got 20 minutes left. So looks a little bit better than what Cursor did, but doesn't really explain what we do. But stay asleep, go find your next stop, power, water, Wi-Fi, easy. I don't think we need to have that in there, but anyway, $30 a night. How Pitsy works, search and find, book and pay, stay and review. Cool. That's easy. That's simple. Find your next stop. Okay. Okay. The dashboard. So host admin. Interesting. So if I'm a traveler, to work or not? Sometimes they demo accounts. Maybe not. But that's what it kind of will look like. Oh wait, maybe it does have a. Okay. Interesting. So you can see how this can be a proper business, right? Because if you're an admin, you can see properties, bookings, users, dashboards. Let's log out. Let's log in as a traveler. Let's got some of the functionality there. Anyway, let's just do it through Bolt because it's going to take too much time. So that's there. So let's go integration. So we want to add payments. We want to add database and edge. So this is opening up Superbase. I'm going to create a new project and call it Pitsy. How do you spell it? And we're going to create a new project. Okay, it's going to cost me $10, Jason. Big trouble now, mate. So that's going to do that. Hopefully it doesn't break like Cursor did. See, I don't know what's going on here. And this is what happens. And you got to be okay with it. But it seems still broken. So maybe the better way of doing it is building most of it in Bolt and then you bring it out of Bolt into here. And then it's just going to be cheaper in the long run. But I'm just going to close that because that's frustrated the shit out of me. You're gone. So back to Bolt, just keeping it nice and simple. I probably should have just done this from the start. We're building it in Bolt. I'm letting the setup go through it. I'm hoping once it's actually set up in Superbase, and it tells me that it is. You can see it's connected there. So if I actually open Superbase, and you can do this all for free, you don't have to actually pay for a lot of this. But if I go to my dashboard and find there, this is my project. And I can kind of see if it's built anything out. So if I look at the databases, authentications, it hasn't really got much in there. It's got users. There's nothing really in here yet. So what I need to ask Bolt to do is, now that you're hooked up to Superbase, can we make this real? Like, and stops. Every Pitsy stops. Pitsy stop. Ah, Jason, now I understand what Pitsy actually. I thought it was Pit Stop, but like Pitsy. I didn't like the name at the start, but yeah. So I'm going to connect Superbase, right corner. Once you're connected, Superbase integration. So it's maybe a little bit confused, just like me, but it looks like it could be connecting everything. So you don't have to worry about how that this works, but essentially it's going to have areas. So if someone creates a user account, you'll see their user account in here, and you can control it, or you can ban them, or fire them, or whatever. So it's going to do that. I'm just going to look at other things. So it's not published. Once it's published, that's when you want to have a domain in there. If I can publish it while it's still working on shit. Probably not. So you publish it, and then it's going to be on like a bulk domain, which is not very professional. So I think once we can publish it, then we can do a domain like pitsy.com.au, connect that up. And I think all these systems are trying to, make it so you don't go to Cursor and you stick with them and stay. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. If this can rank and this can be like an actual good looking website, then if it gets sales, what else matters? Once again, we're waiting. I'm hoping those of you who are impatient like myself just skip what I'm trying to do. But it is actually building out a lot of things. So it's building out all the authentication, all that kind of stuff. So there should be like, if I go to the table editor, should be like building out different folders and stuff. This, my friends, is why I'm not a developer. All right. Can you just, all right, it's doing something. Navbar, obviously it's got to update all these things, right? So you got to log in, create an account. Slightly concerned that it's just showing me that. Because I only want them to have a sign in page once they decide to make an action. But let's have a look. No table is created yet. Just for reference, just so you don't think I'm crazy. Like in like a proper setup, you'll see like user accounts like this, and you can like go in there and like remove them, ban them. You'll have like all your tables and stuff, databases for all these different things, and that'll be all built out. But we play the waiting game yet again. But it's nice to be patient because this would usually take 6 months to build if you had a developer. So I think you can wait 6 minutes. My emails, but I don't necessarily want to open my emails on a stream. I don't know how I'm going to do this when I've only got 10 minutes to go. We probably should have allowed 2 hours. My first one. Who knows? Maybe we'll just set it up and it's going to work. I'm in the wrong one. It's the come on. This video is sponsored by Bolt, but they have no idea about that they're sponsoring it. But obviously, it's me just showing you Bolt. And I guess the reason I like Bolt over Lovable seemed a bit faster and less. It seemed like it understood my problems a bit more, and that's why I went with them. But let's see what it's done now. So, okay, profiles, users, created, super base. Yep. Locations. Cool. So you can see it's asking me to actually do that. So let's go and apply those changes. So connected, it's connected. Run migrations. Scheme will automatically be created. create your first account, traveler or host. And you can see it's run into an issue. Oh, maybe you can't see that. It's run into an issue. And I'm just going to attempt to fix that. And I found Bolt was pretty good with doing that. Just in general. Okay. It's saying it's resolved the problem. So, okay. So, see how it's got this screen here? I just want to publish it so I can see what the website looks like and see if it takes me to that first off, or if that's just the sign up account once I've like looked at the website. Because obviously on Airbnb you don't want to log in before you've looked at your different areas. So somehow I'm going to finish this in 10 minutes. See? So yeah, I don't like that. So I'm just going to say when a user first visits the site, I don't want them to see a login page. I want them to go to then if they want to sign up or log in, they see this. Or I understand that and then shift it so it takes me back to the main website. That'd be annoying. I'm like, I don't want to fucking sign in. I don't even know what you guys do. You're absolutely right. The landing page should be accessible to everyone. The authentication should only be required when users want specific actions like bookings or accessing dashboards. Let me fix this now. Thank you. Faster. As fast as I want. Big update for this shit. Okay, so it's done all that. Great. So I land on here and I'm like, cool. Find your next stop. Loading properties. There is no properties because no one's created any. So let's sign in. Let's sign up. I want to overnight stops. I want to list my property. Let's do that. This feels like a real form. Okay, so when I'm trying to do it on here, it's giving me an error saying Superbase is not working properly. So if I go into Superbase and see if I actually created a user account, there's nothing there. Oh no, I am there. So you can see how that's working now. But they saw an issue which I don't really understand, and they're fixing it. So the issue: new site user signs in, but since no profile exists, it throws an error. Okay, so it's fixed it now. So whatever it's doing, no rows are found, which allows. Okay, so let's republish that and try again and see what we get. Let me see if I can actually create a listing and put it there. I don't know how I'm going to do the rest of this in 5 minutes, Jason, but we're going to try our hardest. But we do have some kind of like prototype. We do have a database hooked up. And I think the authentication is working. So sign in. I do have an account. So let's see if that has done that automatically. What it takes me. Because I signed in. It seems stuck on the Pitsy loading screen. What the hell? What the fuck? So if I had to rate this stream out of 10, I would give it a 2 out of 10, purely for the AMSR eating phase, and then the rest of it was a fail. I mean, it's fixed it, but as you can see on the screen, it has. I see that loading screen again. I'll be very upset. Okay, now it's doing a white screen. Even better. Like my brain. Well, because I'm on a time frame here, it's a bit upsetting. Can you stop this loading Pitsy business? Obviously broken. Um, let's do a quick wrap up and see what I would have done next if I had extra time. So, and then it loads just like that. What I would have done if I had extra time is I would have gone through and updated the imagery and the logos and just the wording to make sure it all like just flows properly. Then I would have created some listings, and then I would have made sure that they worked. I then would have hooked up Stripe so that payments can come through and payments can get distributed properly to the hosts. I then would have built out the dashboard area because I think you need to be able to like okay people to be hosts. You can't just have willy nilly have everyone there. And then I would have done like testings of actually bookings and just made sure it actually worked because at the moment it's not working for me. Very frustrating. But yeah, it would have looked like this. So I would have gone Stripe as Stripe. I then would have gone into the domains and I would have bought a new domain. You can even do that through Bolt. So if I did Pitsy, I would have literally just gone Pitsy, search for what they've got. You can go through GoDaddy or whatever, but if we did something that's like relevant, Pitsy, streaming.com is not available. Yeah, you would choose that, buy it, hook it up, and then essentially that is on that domain there. So then when you've got it live and you've got everything ready, like you've got everything where you want it, you can then have that site live, and then you're just going to be testing the functionality. But other things I would do is, because I've only got 2 minutes left, I would add, like check every page and make sure SEO friendly, super fast. Also add a about page and services FAQ page. I'd do that, get it, build it out. It's going to do it now, but I would go through and do all those different things that are required. And then I would just start testing it. I would get test users. I'd put it on Product Hunt, get some feedback from people, and start getting actual bookings. Because that's the whole thing, right? You can have the best website in the world, but if no one finds it, there's no point in having it. So, like my speaker company, like people are finding that just because it's starting to rank. I've also got posters in the town that I'm in, and that really helps as well. So, yeah, this has been a big failure in regards to like actually finishing it. But you can kind of see how it's just it's not rocket science. Like I'm literally just like clicking around. I know that's anyone on a computer, but I'm just like clicking around trying to fix it. And the biggest thing with vibe coding is you can ask questions of it. You're not asking code. You're asking like, well, you are asking code, but you can ask questions like, why isn't it working, or what's going on, and then you can jump into ChatGPT and get some feedback. And you can just build out a website that would usually you'd have to hire someone, or spend days and weeks on Squarespace or Framer or whatever. Um, I'm a web designer myself, and I know that like you can have really pretty sites, but no one really cares if they're not getting any sales. So that the end thing is what we're actually aiming for. Yeah. Um, yeah, I reckon I'll do another session next week. I might even get it to the point where I'm happy with it in here, export it from here, and put it on Cursor. Maybe Cursor was pissing me off today too. But yeah, you can see how I'll let this finish doing the about page and FAQ page, so you can see how you can just build it out by asking it. And I know this isn't a new video; I'm just doing it on Bolt. But this is my first run at doing a stream on building a business, and maybe next time I do it, I've got a bit more structure. But any feedback I would love. Even if I shouldn't do this on YouTube, if I should do it on if I should do it on Twitch or something else. But yeah, I don't know if this is actually valuable for anyone. I'm sure you're going to fast forward through it, Jason, but there is an hour of my time potentially wasted. Maybe I'll learn something. I don't know. Let's finish with a high by having these about pages and FAQ pages on there, and then we will call it a day. Come on, baby. All right, so we've got about into it. Sarah. Okay, so I just made it some shit. Meet the team. Yeah, you can see how it's like building stuff that's actually like proper. Forgotten about the footer. FAQ. It's a nice looking site. Live chat, all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that makes it beautiful and pretty. Uh, Except it just doesn't work. Thanks for watching. Um, we'll be back next week with another episode of Almost Building a Business within an hour, when we realistically need 5. I look tired. I hope you're not tired. Good afternoon.